Okay, no BS vid on how to write a repeating decimal as a fraction. Go. Okay, first you need to understand equivalency. So, equivalency is a number without a decimal is written with a 0.0 at the end. So, writing 24 with a decimal will be written as 24.0. I need you to know that a number without a fraction is written over 1. So 6 as a fraction is 6 over 1. So just keep that in mind. So like if you have a number like 5, 6, you need to write it as, with a decimal. If there's no decimal, it's 6.0, 5.0. And if you have like, I don't know, like 80, say you have 80 without a fraction, just the number 80, as a fraction it's 80 over 1. Okay? Now, moving the decimal one place to the right is equal to multiplying by 10. And moving the decimal one place to the left is equal to dividing by 10. For each additional power of 10, you are moving another decimal place. So 10 times 10 is 100, times 10 is 1,000, times 10. So each additional thing you're moving it one additional space to the left or right. So here's an example I have. So 250 times 10 is the same thing as 250.0 times 10. So again, back to the equivalency. So if we move the decimal 1 to the right, since we have times 10, it's going to become 2,500. Okay? Now, here's one with division. So with division, we move the decimal to the left. So we have 191 divided by 10 is the same thing as 191.0 divided by 10, which is 19.10 or 19.1. You can remove the ending 0 at the end of a decimal if there's no digits after it. Alright, so another example, 24.25 divided by 100. So that's going to be 0.2425. Notice that now that there's two zeros, we move it 2 spaces to the left instead of 1. So we just take this, go boop, boop, nothing here, so it's 0.2425. Alright, now, to the meat and potatoes, repeating decimal to fraction steps. I have these written out. I'll try to make it as simple as possible. Set x equal to the value of the number with the repeating decimal. Find the repeating decimal. Place the repeating digits to the left side of the decimal. Place the repeating digits to the right side of the decimal. Subtract the two equations and solve. So, example, write the repeating decimal as a fraction. So we have 0.666666 here. First off, so let's see, set x equal to the value of the number with the repeating decimal. Yep, that's what we did. So x equals 0.66, so on. So 6 is the repeating decimal. If you notice, right here, this is where the 6 is in, and after it's just nothing but 6, so that's where the decimal starts to repeat. Okay, so for step 3, place the repeating digits to the left side of the decimal. So this needs to be on this side before we can continue. So it needs to be on the left side. So in order to get 6 over here, all we have to do is multiply by 10. So if we take 0.6666 times 10, we move the decimal 1 to the right. This becomes 6.66666. Alright? Now we have to do this. Now remember, since we set x equal to our original number, if we multiplied 0.666 times 10, algebra says that we need to do it to both sides in order for the equation to stay true. Okay? So we multiply by 10 to get to the left. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do it to the other. So x times 10 equals 10x. I have it written there. So step 4, place the repeating digits to the right side of the decimal. So I wrote that going back to the original decimal, the digits are already on the right, so this is done. So this is the original decimal in step 1 that we had. You can see that the repeating digit is already on the right-hand side. So step 5, subtract the two equations and solve. So we have 10x equals 6.666 minus x equals 0.6666. It's just like subtract the like values. 10x minus x is just 9x, and 6.6666 minus 0.6666 is just 6. So now we're left with 9x equals 6, and we just solve for x. So divide both sides by 9, so we get 6 over 9. Simplify, greatest common factor is 3 for 6 and 9, divide 6 and 9 by 3, you have 2/3. So 0.6666 written as a fraction is 2/3. So one more example. This one's a little bit harder. This is 3.0021212121. So we're going to write that as a fraction. Okay. So same steps as before. Set x equal to the value of the number with the repeating decimal. So we have x equals 3.00212121. So we know that 21. You can also do this to highlight to see which one's repeating. So 21 is the repeating decimal. All right. So if you look right here, if you remember the instructions, if you can memorize them, we have to first put the repeating digits on the left side of the decimal. So in order to get 21 on this side, we had to multiply both sides by 10,000. So we multiply both sides, multiply this number right here by 10,000. It goes from 3.002121 to 30. That's times 10. 300 times 100. 3002 times 1,000. 30,021 times 10,000. So that's how we did that. And then, of course, what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So we multiplied x by 10,000. So now we have to place the repeating digits to the right side of the decimal. So if we go back to the original equation, so that's right here, step 1, x equals 3.002121. So we have to move the decimal 2 spaces to the right to put it on the right side, or multiply it by 100. So we have 100x equals 300.212121. We multiplied x by 100. We multiplied 3.002121 by 100, because if we do that, if you look up, follow my cursor again, 3, so if you go where the decimal is, we're going to move it 2 spaces to the right, so 1, 2. That gives us 300.212121. So now that's on the right side. Alright, so now the repeating digits on the right side. And just like we did earlier, step 5. So step 5 was subtract the two equations and solve. So we have 10,000x minus 100x, and we have 30,021 minus 300. So we just subtract these two here. The decimal, of course, repeating decimal gets subtracted too, so it goes away. We subtract 10,000x minus 100x. That leaves us with 9,900x. So we just solve for x. So that's the same thing as these steps before. I did long division, so just to make the fraction easier to see, maybe. So it was just 29,721 divided by 9,900. Goes into it 3 times. 3 times 9,900, 29,700. Subtract top to bottom. We got 21. So we have 3 with the remainder of 21. Or, if you want to write this just as a full-on fraction, you can take the remainder and put over the divisor. So the remainder over the divisor, and that would give you 21 over, so it would be 3 and 21 over 9,900. And then all I did was I took that 9,900 right here and the 21, and I just did the same thing I did earlier. I just simplified them. So it would be 3 and 7 over 3,300. And yeah, that's how you convert a repeating decimal to a fraction. If you need any help, or if you have any constructive criticism for this video you'd like